The private ICU was designed to feel calm, but the calm felt wrong, like a lie told too softly. The lights were dimmed to a gentle glow, the walls a soothing gray meant to lower blood pressure and invite hope. Machines lined the room in perfect order, their screens blinking with expensive certainty, each one humming as if it knew exactly what it was doing. Outside the glass walls, the city shone, steel and glass and money stretching into the night. Inside, none of it mattered. The baby lay impossibly still. 12 minutes. The number sat in the room like an uninvited guest. No one spoke it anymore, but everyone was counting it. The lead monitor showed a flat line so clean it felt insulting, as if it were proud of its accuracy. Tubes ran into the tiny body, wires taped gently to skin that was already cooling despite the warmed blankets. The baby's chest did not rise, did not fall. The billionaire stood near the foot of the bed, his tailored suit wrinkled now, jacket tossed over a chair he hadn't meant to use. His hands were clenched so tightly his fingers ached, but he didn't notice. He had negotiated billion-dollar deals with less tension than he felt in his jaw at that moment. He owned hospitals like this one. He had funded wings, donated equipment, had his name etched into stone in more places than he could remember. None of it could buy a heartbeat. Across the room, the baby's mother sat slumped in a chair. Her body still, but her face hollowed out by shock. Tears had come and gone already, leaving behind something quieter and more dangerous. Her eyes stayed on the baby, unblinking, as if looking away might make the loss final. The doctors stood together near the monitors. They had done everything right. Every protocol followed. Every intervention attempted. Their movements had slowed not from lack of skill, but from the knowledge. That time had crossed a line that medicine did not like to admit existed. The lead doctor cleared his throat. "We've reached 12 minutes without a detectable pulse," he said softly. He chose his words carefully, the way people do when they already know the ending. At this point, even if... He stopped. He didn't finish the sentence. Everyone knew the rest. Severe hypoxia, irreversible damage, best-case scenarios that still sounded like tragedies. The room fell into a heavy silence, broken only by the low hum of machines continuing their work out of habit. No one turned them off yet. Turning them off felt like admitting something no one was ready to say aloud. Then the door opened. It was a small sound, but it cut through the silence like a dropped glass. A nurse turned sharply. "This area is restricted." A boy stood in the doorway, holding a folded mop rag against his chest like a shield. He was barefoot, toes gripping the cool tile as if he might need to run. He couldn't have been more than 10, thin arms, shoulders too narrow for his oversized shirt, pants that had been hemmed and rehemmed until there was nothing left to let out. His skin was dark, his eyes darker still, wide but steady in a way that didn't match his age. "I'm sorry," he said quickly. His voice was soft but clear. "I didn't mean to come in. I heard crying." One of the doctors frowned. "This is not appropriate," he said. "Nurse, please escort him out." The nurse took a step forward, already tired of being the one who had to enforce rules in moments like this. But the boy didn't move. His eyes weren't on the adults. They were fixed on the baby. "He's cold," the boy said. The words were simple, but the certainty behind them made the room hesitate. Not because he was right, everyone already knew that, but because of how he said it, like an observation rather than an opinion. "We're aware," the lead doctor replied, irritation creeping into his voice despite himself. "Security?" "My little brother did that," the boy said suddenly. That stopped them. The mother's head lifted a fraction. The billionaire turned slightly, just enough to really see the boy for the first time. "When he stopped breathing," the boy continued, his fingers tightened around the rag. "They said he was gone too." The doctor exhaled slowly. "Son, I'm very sorry," he said, his tone shifting to the one doctors used when delivering sympathy. "But this is different. We've been without a pulse for—" "He wasn't dead," the boy said. The words landed heavier than shouting would have. "They said he was," the boy added. "But my grandma said sometimes the heart is scared to come back. Like it don't know if it's safe." The billionaire turned fully now. He studied the boy's face. No hysteria, no performance. Just memory. "What did you do?" the billionaire asked. His voice cracked on the last word. The doctors glanced at him, surprised. He was not a man known for entertaining uncertainty. The boy swallowed. "I talked to him," he said, "and I put my hand here." He pressed his palm flat against the center of his own chest. "Not hard, just warm." A silence spread, thicker than before. This wasn't grief talking. This was something else. Something that didn't fit. "That's not how resuscitation works," one doctor said too quickly. "We cannot allow—" another began. "Stop," the billionaire said. The word carried weight. It always did. Everyone froze. The billionaire stepped closer to the bed, then looked back at the boy. "Show me," he said quietly. The lead doctor shook his head. "This violates every protocol we have." "And what are those protocols doing right now?" the billionaire asked, not looking at him. No one answered. The baby was still. The line was still flat. The boy took a hesitant step forward, then another. No one stopped him. He didn't touch the machines, didn't pull at wires. He placed one small hand gently on the baby's chest, his palm warm against skin that had gone frighteningly cool. He leaned in, close enough that his forehead nearly touched the tiny one. "I know. You're tired," he whispered. The doctors watched, arms crossed, jaws tight, expecting nothing. "But your mama's still here," the boy continued softly. "And your daddy's scared." 10 seconds passed. Nothing. 20. The nurse held her breath without realizing it. "It's okay to come back slow," the boy said. "You don't gotta be strong yet." The billionaire felt something tighten behind his eyes, a pressure he hadn't felt since he was a child himself, before money had taught him better ways to hide. Then the monitor flickered. Just once, a tiny spike, gone as quickly as it appeared. "Wait," a nurse whispered. Another flicker, a beat, then another. The room erupted. "Pulse detected. Confirm reading. Oxygen, now!" the mother cried out, a sound ripped straight from her chest, collapsing forward as relief and shock hit at once. The billionaire sank into a chair, his legs suddenly unable to remember how to hold him upright. The baby's chest began to rise, shallow, fragile, but real. The boy stepped back immediately, hands clasped behind him, eyes wide now, as if he had only just realized what had happened. The lead doctor stared at the monitor, then at the boy, his voice barely audible. "That's not possible." The boy shrugged, small shoulders lifting. It worked before. And in that moment, surrounded by machines, money, and certainty, every doctor in the room understood something deeply unsettling. They had just seen life return in a way no rulebook could explain.